What up, nerds? So, actually, what's really interesting is I'm doing this video earlier than usual, than my usual videos. Primarily because, tomorrow I actually am going to be getting up, not early per se. Let me move this closer. Not early per se. Ooh, let me turn up the brightness. Why you so shadowy? That's better. I don't have to get up early, but I do plan to get up earlier than I usually get up. So I'm doing this video earlier in the night, so you might hear laundry stuff happening. You may hear a little bit of noise from the living room because my parents are in there watching TV, and they tend to watch TV at a surround sound type volume. So I go ahead and apologize for that ahead of time. Let's see, how are you feeling? For those of you who are new, welcome to the space. My name is Yasha. I also go by Tater the Penguin, and I be just hanging out online, doing various things on here. Usually, if you see Tater the Penguin, it's me lurking and maybe having random comments to say, and no, I want this necklace. And people's like gaming streams and stuff like that. I started doing these videos, now it's been at least 2 months now, and in these videos I am as authentic as I possibly can be. I talk about, you know, kind of things that are going on in my personal life. I share little tidbits of advice. Where is my ring? Where are you? Oh, you're right there. I share little tidbits of advice, and for the most part, I'm just here, hanging out, having a good time. Sometimes I cry because I get like into what's going on in my life, and you know, I tend to talk a lot about video games and movies and stuff, and I tend to talk about the same ones over and over again because I like what I like. But yeah, I've been doing these videos for quite a while now. I've thoroughly been enjoying myself. I like to show this moment at the beginning of all of my videos. It kind of sets the tone. The tone is beautiful and magical and sparkly, and so that's why I like to show this at the beginning of my videos. I hope that you all have had an amazing day, or are having an amazing day so far at the time of viewing this video. Yeah. And also, we're gonna get into some water, per usual. Did you have water today? If you didn't have water today, now is your chance. Pause this video if you need to, go get some water, and then we can both drink water together. If you have water with you, let's drink water together. I like to do 5 gulps. I'm sorry for those of you who do not like the gulping noises. I try to downplay them as possible when I drink my water, but I'm human, you know, this is what we do. And I will be drinking a lot more water than usual because since it's early in the night, I'm not remotely ready to go to sleep yet. So my sister was like, oh, I'm making some popcorn, would you like some? So I'm sorry, but I will be eating during this video, so if that bothers you, I'm so sorry. Bro, I love vinegar on my popcorn. I love vinegar on my popcorn. It's gotta be buttery. No hate to the people who like kettle corn. I don't like sweet popcorn like that. My favorite sweet popcorn would have to be, you know, in the stores when like the holidays are popping off, they will have those tins of the different flavors of popcorn. I like those because you can like take a break. So you can be like, caramel, oop, just kidding. Take a break from that, have the butter. Take a break from that, have the cheddar. You know, you got the different flavors of popcorn. I love those tins. I love those tins so much. They're so good. But it's like a, you know, it's like a special thing that you do. 4 minutes and 44 seconds as I say that. It's like a special thing that you do one time a year. So I don't know. For the number 4 represents foundations, planning, all that good stuff. And Also, my sister's awake and she's doing stuff, so you may hear her talking in the background. So this is not going to be 5 minutes and 5 seconds as I say this. This is not going to be as, I guess, smooth and quiet as like some of my other videos. So just as a warning, because, you know, if you got this turned up all the way, because sometimes my volume does weird stuff, I don't want you to be jump scared. But yes, how are you guys? I hope you're doing good. I hope you're feeling good. Thank you to those of you who have been here. Thank you to those of you who are here chilling out with me in this video. To those of you who've been commenting on my videos, thank you. I appreciate seeing your comments because it helps me to engage with you guys better, knowing like your thoughts and things like that. I have my popcorn in a glass bowl, so that's what I'm working with right now. I'm very, very happy. But yes, again, you never have to like, comment, or subscribe, but I do appreciate it. It's crazy. I think I have like 950 subscribers now, and I started doing these videos with 777. And it's crazy to me that I actually had 700 subscribers from like 8 years ago. So technically, a lot of the new subscribers are probably the people that are watching, you know? So yeah, I think that's really cool that I may break 1,000 subscribers. I might have 1,000 subscribers. It's kind of exciting. I said in another video, I know that for a lot of people that's not a lot, but for me, I imagine, like, could I fit 1,000 people in the apartment that I live in right now? No, I couldn't. That's a lot of people. You know, if I'm going to a birthday party and there are 1,000 people there, that's a lot of fucking people. So I know, like I was just watching I've been watching a lot of Pizzy videos recently because they're really funny. He's hilarious. And he's got like 400,000 subscribers or something like that. And I saw that today and I was like, I do. Shit. But that's not what it's about. It's not about, for me anyways, like that's not why I'm here. I'm not like, I don't do things specifically to be entertaining. I more do things that I enjoy doing, and then if you guys enjoy them too, it's amazing and it's great. I'm gonna have a piece of popcorn. So good. I love having a snack after dinner. It's the vibe. But whenever I eat popcorn, especially popcorn with vinegar, I drink way more water. So I may be drinking a lot of water in this video. But yeah, so it was a really good day for me today. For those of you who are new here, I usually start my videos this way. My day was really good. I actually woke up this morning and did some energy healing on my body because I was like, this isn't it, fam. Like, I've gotta, because I've been having headaches randomly out of nowhere, so I was like, that's not the move. So I did some energy healing this morning, and then I went for a walk. However, before I went for a walk, I had my first tarot card reading done that my sister did for me, and I haven't done one of those in ages. And the message that I received may be a message that somebody else needs to hear. So I'm going to share it because it might be something that may help you, or it might be something to let you know that you're not alone, or for some of you, it might be something to let you know that you're past this and you're doing a really good job. So, she did a 6-card pull for me, and it was in the shape of a pyramid. So 1 at the top, 2 below it, and then 3 below that. And essentially, I was being reminded that I am locked in to spirit, and I have a certain amount of awareness that comes with that. And I'm here to remind you. You are locked in with spirit. 9 minutes and 19 seconds as I say this. You're locked in with spirit, and there's a certain amount of awareness that comes with that. The awareness that I'm talking about is the awareness to feel and know things that are going on in your space. You have this ability. Some of you really have had gut feelings about certain people, and people are like, man, that person's nice. I don't know what you're talking about. And then turn around, you know, a couple weeks later, and you were right, and you're just sitting there like, stupid ass, you should have listened to me in the first fucking place. So that level of awareness, like having awareness, is something that if you don't right now, if you're like, man, my gut's always wrong and I don't have awareness, now You can start that now. One of the ways that I started working on having awareness. What is this? Oh, it's a tiny thread. I thought I was gonna have to tweak. One of the ways that you can start having better awareness is what I like to do when I meditate is open monitoring, or just observing more shit when you're out. So for me, meditation, open monitoring, what that is you essentially sit, or you lay down in a meditative position and you just listen. And you listen to as much as you can. And essentially what you're doing is you are triggering your brain and your body's response to observing. A lot of us spend a lot of time on our phones. I'm not judging because I do. A lot of us spend a lot of time on our phones or computer screens, or we're listening to music, or we're watching videos, or we're working our 9 to 5, and we don't take a lot of time to observe everything around us. When you observe more, you become more aware of what's happening. It's one of the reasons that people can see certain things coming before they happen. So in a friend group, you can see that somebody's about to lose their shit. There are so many people who I've heard say, man, it came out of nowhere. And I'm like, I'm betting that if you were observing, it wouldn't have come out of nowhere, because most people, there were signs. I don't know if any of you have watched the show Evil Lives Here. It's essentially like a documentary show that they talk to survivors and family members and friends of people who were like serial killers, and like it's kind of like true crime, but it's more people talking about what these people did and how they didn't think that it was going to get to the level that it ended up getting to. And so usually they're like, yeah, he was just really nice, he was really sweet, he was very friendly, and yeah, he'd lose his temper occasionally and, like take out a squirrel or something, but we just thought that he was just... And then it's funny because at the beginning of the show, it'll say, like, Jane Doe thought that her husband, Jonathan, was a good man and couldn't believe that he would lead this massive religious cult and kill all these people. And then it'll go to the screen, will fade to black, and then it'll be like, but there were signs. I fucking love that show. I can't sit there and watch it for too long, because at some point I'm like, can I trust anybody in MySpace? Like, it really becomes like the paranoia starts to slip in. But so many of the people said that their guts told them something was off in that show. So many people, men, women, everybody. I'm surprised they haven't interviewed like the family dog, because so many people are like, oh yeah, our dog didn't like him and we couldn't figure out why. It's like, because the dog felt the ain't shit energy. He was like, hey, yo, something's wrong. Something's wrong in here. I need y'all to believe me. We gotta go. So awareness, observing more, slowing down, and really taking stock of everything that you see around you will help with that level of awareness. It's easy, yeah? 13 minutes and 23 seconds as I was finishing that up. It's actually far easier than people make it seem to be aware and to have awareness. I absolutely hated when the term woke became popular. You know why? Because to me, all that term means is I'm actually paying attention. I'm calling people out on their bullshit. I'm letting people know that certain things aren't okay. And I'm letting them know we've been letting shit slide for too long. That's not okay. And we should be talking. Essentially, to me, what being woke is, say it with your chest. Because I'm going to say it with my chest. That, to me, is what woke means. That's all it means. The fact that it became, like, this big discussion and people using it wrong, and all the people using it wrong don't brush their teeth, and it's just a whole situation. So that was the first card that I pulled. Yes, I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on things based off of my reading that I had this morning, because I was moved to share it. And the fact that I remembered I hope I do. I think I remember all the cards. Bro, I love hearing her talk to herself when she be watching her shows. Popcorn. Let me get some more water. And then we'll get back to yapping. delicious. So, awareness. The pull was reminding me that I need to observe more. I need to like get back into the habit of observing things. The second card that I got was the solar plexus card. For those of you that don't know, your solar plexus is it's third from the bottom of your energy centers, and it's here right below your rib cage and right above your belly button, and that's where it sits. And that energy center deals with psychic reception, energy, feeling, willpower, self-esteem, the ability to make decisions. That is what that area focuses on. And whenever she pulls any cards that are specific, like energy points in the body, or as they are very popularly known, chakras, I know I need to do like some kind of healing work or energy work there. So what I did today was I went on a walk. I went on a meditative walk because I realized that area, because it's kind of the connector of the lower energy centers and the higher ones, like the more heady ones, that one really does need to be balanced. And one of the big ways that I balance it is I will go for a walk, especially when it's sunny outside, and I just bask in it. Like, I just bask. So I needed to focus on that. And part of it is because there frequently, if you've been with me and you've been seeing my videos, there's been frequent moments of are the things happening? Like, things are happening, but it's so slow. Like, the kind of signs that I get are so minuscule compared to the shit that I want. So it's like, or the shit that I'm moving towards. Like, I'll be moving towards, as just an example, wanting a car, and I start seeing the car everywhere. And it's like, okay, I've seen the car enough. When can I get a different sign? You know, when can we move forward? You know? So, that was something that I needed to work on, and that I needed to work on balancing. And I'm still in the process of balancing it, giving attention to it. And usually if I find that there is one energy center that needs to be balanced, usually it means I just need to do an entire tune-up of everything. Anytime I don't just sit for a while in silence, because I'm a big music person. So I might not be on my phone all day, but I'm listening to music constantly. I always have at least one earbud in because I so thoroughly enjoy music, especially when I'm doing things. And here recently, I've been listening to a ton of music. So I went outside and I walked with no music, and I just listened. And I heard the birds, and I heard the traffic, and I heard the wind, and it was just great. So that was the second card. So make sure, my loves, that if you're feeling like you're not feeling as empowered as you usually do, you're struggling with self-esteem, it could be that energy center. And what I do when I'm trying to look up how to work with things, I'm not gonna lie to you, I go to Pinterest and I look that shit up. I go and I look up various things to do, and whatever, like, when I read it, I'm like, ooh, that sounds fun. That's what I do. I do the thing that sounds fun, because if you're sitting there trying to like meditate and you're bored, that's not the way to go. I know a lot of people are very big into like training your mind and training your body. Open your mind. But the truth of the matter is you have to do something exciting that gets you into it. If you're starting it, like, not everybody, but for me, the things that I did, there had to be a certain level of enjoyment getting into it, or else I wouldn't have created the habit. That's just me. I don't know if everybody's brains work like that. But, so for solar plexus, for me, I love going outside, especially when the weather's good. I love going for a walk, and I love talking to myself. Anytime I've been on vacation where there was 19 minutes and 19 seconds as I say this, so maybe somebody is coming to the end of a vacation if you're watching this video, because 9 represents like the end of chapters and things like that. But when I've been on vacation and there's been a beach, I enjoy popping up early and going and walking on the beach like before other people get up. You will see porpoises usually out there. And for those of you that don't know, porpoises are actually very similar to dolphins. They're just like, they're dolphins' cousins. And I would go out there, and it's like, the sun is super, it just came up, so it's a little cool outside. Great time to walk the beach if you're by a beach, or to walk outside at a park or your neighborhood, or just walking up to the gas station, 7-Eleven around the corner. I don't know. So that's what I do when it comes to solar plexus. I also, if I'm trying to balance my energy centers, so I guess this is advice for somebody who wants to do this, I do yoga poses. There are so many pictures, there's so many videos on YouTube. The biggest advice I have for those of you who are wanting to do it and you may not want to spend the money right now is to ease into anything physical. Ease into it. You don't get kudos for jumping in there and trying to, be able to do the splits and put your feet behind your head immediately. You will hurt yourself. Take your time. Ease into it. There are a couple of poses that you can look up on like Pinterest, and they'll show you the poses that are associated with that. And sometimes I'll do that. It really just depends on the kind of headspace I'm in. I mean, doing that today was not going to be ideal because I do still have head congestion, so some of those poses require my head to be hanging down, and then I just get a headache. So I didn't do those, but that's a tip if you're ever looking to balance energy centers. There are yoga poses you can get into, and those can be really helpful. Okay, what else? Ooh, I should have chewed that better. Oh, that hurt going down. There was a kernel attached to that one. It scratched all the way down. It was like, fuck you. The third card was, it was awareness, solar plexus, and the third card was, fuck. What was the third card? Hope. The third card was hope. And essentially, it was just saying to connect back into my intuition and to remain in a hopeful place and to continue to have faith in the path that I have chosen. When I tell you there have been so many moments of doubt for me, and usually 22 minutes and 22 seconds as I'm saying this, there have been so many moments of doubt for me, and typically that doubt happens when I don't think things are happening fast enough, or I don't see them as being significant enough. Like the signs are not significant. So like I said, like if you're wanting a brand new car, you're starting to see your car everywhere, you're like, that's great, that's nice, I've seen my car everywhere, what else? And the thing about hope, which rebellions are built on hope, I think about Star Wars. I really do. Like, I think about when it's like the reason that we are doing what we're doing, right? 23 minutes on my timer as I'm saying this. The whole reason that we are choosing to do what we're doing is because we believe that there is good in the world and it's worth fighting for. Samwise Gamgee. When we are looking for something to hold on to, we have to believe that there is good in the world, that there are people, 23 minutes and 23 seconds as I'm saying this, we have to believe that there are people out here who do care about other people, who are starting businesses because they want to help people. We have to believe that. And for me, having to believe that and then having faith in your chosen path, and that your chosen path will spread positive energy that's going to elevate and help support other people, that's such an important belief system to have. And it's so easy to be cynical these days. It's so easy. It's so easy to hit them with the big fuck you, to not care. It's so easy to be like, well, I haven't found love yet, so I'm just going to be out here ruining people's lives. It's so easy to go there. But those of you who are not there, those of you who are fighting to remain loving, to remain passionate, to remain compassionate, to remain empathetic, please keep doing that. 24 minutes and 24 seconds as I say that. Excuse me. Because the world should be more like you in that regard. It's not that you should be more like what everybody else is doing. No. No. My love, we are locking into the fact that love is a state of being. Caring for other people is a state of being. It's something that you can do that not only makes you feel good, but then elevates other people. And it makes everybody feel better. Yeah, we want to be petty sometimes. Yeah, we want to be assholes sometimes. I'm not saying never be petty and never be an asshole. Because, I mean, come on, spice of life. But at your core, being there for other people when they really need it, holding space for people when they really need it. I've realized that in life, I thought that being a good friend meant that I was going to constantly be broke, that I was going to constantly be tired. But what I'm noticing is a lot of the people in my life, what they tend to need is a listening ear. They need somebody to tell them that they're not being crazy. Their feelings are valid. No, the thing that they did wasn't right, but you understand why they did it. Validating somebody doesn't mean that you agree with them, by the way. In case any of you have ever had an argument with a spouse or with a partner and you're like, well, I don't want to tell them that I understand how they feel or that I get it because I don't want them to think that I agree with them. Validating somebody's emotions does not mean that you agree with them. I validate people's emotions who I disagree with all the time. I'm like, I can understand that you're hurt and that you feel vulnerable in this moment. If I was being treated any type of way that made me feel like that, I wouldn't like it. Validating is simply stating that the person has a right to feel their own emotions. Now, what they do after that, you validate, what did it say? Damn, I wish I had the paper. It's you validate what is a fact. You validate what is true and nothing more. So if somebody says that they are angry at you because you ain't shit, you do not validate the you ain't shit part. You don't do that. You validate the fact that they're angry. You're like, I can see that you're angry and I can understand why you would be angry. I get it. You getting it and you understanding where somebody comes from does so much for a lot of people. I'm surprised at the amount of people who, when I validate them, whatever the argument was kind of goes away, because when I'm like, well, tell me more about that. Why do you feel angry? Well, because you did this and you did this and you did this. So these particular actions, what do they mean to you? Like, why is it such a problem? And this is, this is the psychology brain coming out. Like, for me, the why does matter, because a lot of people are walking around here faking the funk. They're hurt, they're angry, they're traumatized from their childhood, and 27 minutes and 27 seconds as I say that. So maybe some of you watching this, you feel that way. And the thing is that your trauma does not make you a bad person. Those events that happened to you, all the issues, the exes that mistreated you, the parents that mistreated you, the siblings that mistreated you, the people that bullied you, you should not have had to go through that. I don't agree with people who are like, well, all that stuff, it made me stronger. It's like, okay, if that's how you feel about it, that's all right. But that doesn't mean it was right. Just because you were able to come out and you were able to rise from the ashes like the beautiful phoenix that you are, does not mean that that situation was okay. And this is another one of those things that I think is attached to the term woke, because it's like, no, that's not okay. This is not okay behavior. It's not okay that when your child is 5, you as the parent are unloading all of your trauma onto that child. That's not okay. I get why parents do that. I get that you're stressed. I get that you're overwhelmed and you don't have a therapist and you don't have close friends you can talk to. So you feel like the only person you can talk to is your 5-year-old. I get that. Doesn't make it okay. That's not your 5-year-old's responsibility. I don't think I'm talking to anybody. I was just using it as an example. But yeah, man, I don't know where I was going with all that. I'm kind of just talking. But now is a good time to continue to hope, to continue to spread that change that you want to see, to continue to be that change that you want to see. If you want to see more laughter, you want to see more people smiling and joking, then be smiley and jokey. Laugh more. If you want to see more people care about people, then when you're out, observe, increase your awareness, and see little moments, little things that you can do in order to show people that you care. And not even just for them, but for you, so that you're doing things. I remember when I was talking to somebody and they were saying that they were like, yeah, when it comes to like political things, I prefer to put my time and money into the things I support. So instead of trying to bash anybody, they would go out to like rallies, like support parties, you know, pride, any type of thing where they could put their positive energy. And you find that a lot of the people in those spaces are really looking for support and love. And you'd be surprised. You show up to a class all the time, you see a particularly quiet person in the back of the class, and you go and you talk to them. A, you may make a new friend. B, you might be the angel that somebody needed in their lives to just kind of know that they're not invisible. You know, this loneliness epidemic is crazy, but I think it's great because what it's doing is it's inspiring people to create more to create space on their platforms where people can engage with each other. I was looking at making a Discord server a long time ago, and I was gonna call it, I'm not going to tell y'all what I was going to call it because I might still call it that if I create the server. But I was going to create a Discord server where people could kind of go on there and share all kinds of stuff because I wanted to create a community where people could feel supported and they could feel loved even if they couldn't necessarily get to where everybody else was, you know? So, that third card just reminded me how important it is to have faith. It's like, yeah, sometimes it seems like things are getting dark, you know? Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, all those big movies. There are moments where it feels like the darkness is overwhelming and that it's taking over and there's nothing you can do about it. There's so many times here within the past 10 years that I felt that way about the state of the United States. And I was like, what exactly can we do dealing with all the shit that we're dealing with? What are we supposed to do? Because of the way that it was set up. And one of the quotes that I repost on Instagram whenever I see it is when Frodo says to Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, you know, like, I wish this hadn't have happened. I wish the ring had never come to me. Like, I wish none of this had taken place because he lost people. Like, he was so sad. And Gandalf says, so do all who live to see such times. But that's not for them to decide. The only thing that they can decide, the only thing that there is for them to do, is to do, I don't remember the quote exactly, but it's, all that they can do is to figure out, like, what to do with that time, you know? So there's certain things that happen, and we can't necessarily change those things, but what we can do is we can take that time and we can use it in a way that is loving, that is supportive, that is beneficial to other people, you know? So I think that's why I pulled the Hope card. It was a reminder. It was like, I know sometimes things can look a little dark, things can look a little bleak, but the best stories that are written have these moments. They have the moments where you're like, I can't believe it. I've been hoping for so long. Is it there? Some of the best stories have those types of doubt in them. And you, my friend, are a main character. So, the next card that my sister pulled for me that made me wince a little bit was the Shadow card. And that card essentially is the card that says you need to go inwards because there's some stuff that you're avoiding. Now, here's the thing. I already said this in a video before where I was like, yeah, I haven't really been focusing on my shadow work. I realized on my walk today why. I actually have. Stay with me now. I actually have a little bit of brat energy. I'm gonna explain this. So before this gets crazy, I'm gonna explain. Just want to have some more of my popcorn. You'll forgive me for having a little bit of my snack. What I mean by being a little bit of a brat is that I occasionally like to push the occasional button. You know, I'm the type of person, if I see something sitting on a kitchen counter and it's not gonna break, I slide it just a little bit, right up to the edge, until the person in the room who's walking around sees it and they're like, don't do that. And I'll just scoot it just a little closer, just scoot it just a little closer. I've always been like this. I like to play. I like to tease. It's just a part of my makeup. And it happens more when my inner child is driving. She likes to tease. But what I realized was that I was bratting in the not appropriate place, which is with the universe, with spirit. That's not when you do that, because it's you. So all that's going to happen is you're going to stand in the way of your own blessings. So let me explain how this works. Let me explain how this happens. So essentially what I did was I got to a point where I was like, okay, so I'm tired of not getting my stuff. I'm not going to do any shadow work until I see all the shit that I asked for. And what's crazy is I thought I ate. I thought I did something. I really thought I was hitting a big, gotcha. Like, I really thought I was doing something. But all I did when it was like, oh, so you're not going to do your shadow work, you're not going to learn more lessons, but those things are the triggers that cause other things to happen. So it's kind of like in a video game where you need a key card to get through a door to get to another section. And so you're going and you're searching and you're like, oh, there's nothing in here. There's no coins. There's no anything, but there's a key card somewhere in this room. So you're looking in places, you're opening things, and you're like, oh, I wish I could just know exactly where it is. But you don't, because this is the nature of the journey. So you finally find the key card, and then you go and you open up another section and you're like, damn it, another fucking puzzle. What do you mean? If any of you have played Poppy Playtime or seen the gameplay, you know what I'm talking about. But that's how life is. That's how my spiritual path anyway, that's what it is. So I was over here on some, well, I'm not going to look for the key cards until I get the stuff in the next room. And it's like, but you need the key card to get the stuff in the next room. And some people might say, well, not some people, but I know that I actually don't have to do a lick of shadow work to get the things that I want. Spoiler alert for those of you who thought that that was the case. You actually don't. You don't have to do shadow work. You don't have to be a better person. I am a growth-focused person. That's why I do it. And for me, the journey is far more enjoyable when I am leveling up, in my own opinion, and when I feel better about myself. That is when I'm able to accept big things. And I got you. This is part of the reason I was like, let me not set my popcorn bowl down too tough. Because this ain't for y'all. This is mine. It's mine. But, yeah. So, I was like, I'm not doing any more shadow work because I'm frustrated with y'all. And it was like, okay, so then everything's just gonna stand still. Now, the only reason it's standing still for me is because this is what I asked for. This is one of the things I came back here to do. One of the things I came back here to do was to work on myself, was to grow as a person, was to focus on my own journey, and to reach various levels of awareness so that I could be not only a person who can enjoy life more, because when you're a more aware person, for me, I don't know how everybody else is, but when I am able to see more, I enjoy more. I enjoy way more. Food tastes way better than it used to for me because I'm able to recognize the ingredients used, because I'm aware, because I can tell, because I take the time to smell my food, you know. I know people, and there's nothing wrong with being a person like this, but I know people, they don't eat because the food is good. They, 38 minutes and 38 seconds as I say this, they hork food down super quick because it's sustenance. It's not to taste. And that's totally fine because that's their experience. But for me, I love tasting life. I love experiencing life. And so for me, the reason why on my journey, my higher self set milestones into place so that every time I gained more awareness, it allows me to enjoy the stuff that comes to me even more. Like for me, when my sister, bless her, for her birthday, what she wanted to do was she wanted to take me to Universal with her, to Isle of Adventures. I'd never been. And I was able to enjoy that trip with her more because I was aware. The first couple times I went to Universal, I was just kind of like, oh, this is great. It's kind of hot. I'm kind of miserable. My clothes don't really fit. Like, I wasn't having as good a time. But because I made a note of all the reasons I didn't enjoy it the first time I went, and I changed. I changed my clothes. I changed how we did breaks. We changed how we did rides. We literally, like redid, or not redid, but we kind of, like evolved with our going to a, you know, like an amusement park. And I had a blast with her. It was more fun than any other time I've been to an amusement park. It was the most fun that I had. And we were super calm. We were super peaceful. We weren't rushing. We didn't mind the lines because that's just what, you know, you have to do when you go to amusement parks. It was so dope. I loved it. It was amazing. 40 minutes and 23 seconds, as I say that. And I enjoyed it so much more because I was able to slow down and take in everything that was happening. You know, when you first go on a ride and they're making you watch videos, like, I wasn't sitting there impatient like I have always been. I was actually able to enjoy the rides and stuff. By the way, if you ever come to Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, and you are interested in themed roller coasters, you should go on the Mummy ride. The Mummy ride is my favorite ride at Universal, besides Hagrid's motorbike ride at Isle of Adventures. So yeah, no, the Mummy ride eats. It eats. I love it so much. I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody, but I love it. I love it. It's so good. So first three cards: awareness, solar plexus, hope. Fourth card was the shadow card. And so yeah, I realized that I had tried to give Spirit an ultimatum, and I was like, if you give me my stuff, I'll do shadow work. And Spirit was like, but you set this up. You set this up to not work that way. And I was like, damn it, you're right. The call was coming from inside the house. The only one who can beat me is me, face ass. Damn. So I realized that today, and I was like, well, shit. The next card from that was the celebration card, and it was like, hey, now is the time for you to celebrate. You are doing a lot of positive work. And I have to tell y'all this. Sometimes confirmations that let you know you're on the right path, if you tend to get a lot of those, try your best to be grateful for them. Don't ignore them because you're getting a lot of them. Don't ignore them because, listen, I get it. If you're on your journey and you're making it happen and you're like, yes, I know I'm doing good, but there are times when you're not doing good. There are times when you're not firing on all pistons, as I have been saying recently. There are times where you're not making it happen. So when you're getting the confirmation, yes, you're doing what you need to do, take a deep breath and exhale. And understand you don't have to be doing so hard. The confirmation lets you know that what you're doing is working. For me, I have to check myself on that because I'll get these confirmations that I'm doing exactly what I need to do, and I'm like, well, I'm ready for things to change, and it's like, bro, sit in it, enjoy it, wallow in it a little bit. Everything will change. That is what is inevitable. Change. It is the only thing consistent in our lives is change. And so you might as well enjoy it while you have it. And I know I say that, and then I have videos where I'm sad and I'm like being moody that you guys see, and I'm here to tell you that that's the nature of being a human being. So when I tell you things in these videos, I'm not saying I'm never going to be sad and have, you know, depressed again. I'm just telling you what, you know, what I learned and what things I'm, you know, being made aware of. So I got another kernel. I think this popcorn might be trying to kill me. Somebody watching this was just like, why are you trying to eat and talk at the same time? Leave me alone. Let me have this. So that was, you know, those were all of the cards. And then the very last card at the very top was the disruption card. And essentially, it is the tower in traditional tarot. So what a tower moment. Oh, my ears are popping. One moment. Oh my gosh. So what a tower moment is it is a catalyst. It is something that happens that is not great upon the surface of it. So, i.e., you lose your job, you get into a car crash, somebody breaks up with you. Like, these types of moments are massive catalysts for change, and on the surface it fucking sucks. It's like, I don't know what good is gonna come of this. But the whole reason those catalyst moments happen is because the foundation that you built prior to that catalyst moment was not a firm foundation. So for me, I would say one of my biggest catalyst moments in my life was my separation from my ex, who I was with for 9 years. And it's because that moment showed me all of the foundational issues that I had when it came to relationships, all of the foundational issues that I had when it came to how I showed up in the world and how I showed up as myself. I wasn't being authentic in that relationship. I wasn't being authentic anywhere because that wasn't something I knew to be, because most everybody around me, they were faking the funk. Either they were faking the funk, like they had it harder than they did, or people were faking the funk that they had it better than they did. I didn't meet a lot of like down to earth authentic people. Now there were definitely some, but I didn't hang out with a lot of people, so there's also that. But that moment was a catalyst moment. I spent a lot of nights crying. I spent a lot of nights sad and depressed. The woe is me. There were a lot of moments of me wondering, how am I going to get back out there? Like, how am I going to... I really thought that that was going to be it. I thought when I was married that first time, technically legally I'm still, but I really thought that that was it, that was going to be it for me. So now that I'm back out here and it's my birthday month, I'm going ahead and claiming that I'm 32, so I'm going to just be saying that from the rest of these videos. I am 32 years old now, and as a 32-year-old, that is, it's kind of tough. 46 minutes and 46 seconds as I'm saying this. It's kind of tough to be in a situation where you feel like you're starting over. And society really has painted the picture that when you're in your 30s, life ends. The fun ends, your body starts to turn on you. Everything gets boring. Like, there's a lot of negativity around aging, which is really weird to me because it's inevitable. It's something that we all go through. So the fact that there are companies that are making millions upon millions of dollars, essentially trying to keep people looking young for an unnaturally long amount of time is interesting to me when I actually think about it. It's like people who are trying to live forever. Now, for me, I'm excited. I'm not trying to rush there, okay? But I'm excited for when I transition, when I'm no longer here. Because I'll have done it. I'll have lived my life, man. I mean, hopefully we make it to that point. Like, I'm trying to be old. I am trying to grow old with somebody. I'm trying to grow old with great grandkids and, like, or maybe just all of my great nieces and great nephews. Like, I mean, maybe that's what we do. But why did I get off on that? I'm sorry. I should have known I wasn't going to be able to eat this while I was talking. I don't multitask well. But, yeah, my catalyst moment was that relationship coming to an end. And it was a big deal because it literally was the jumping board, the jump off board for who I am today. And I am happier than I've ever been. Even in moments of doubt, even in moments where I'm tired and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, it is so much better than the anxiety, than the depressive episodes, than the being alone, than the laughing in people's faces when I didn't feel well. Now, I love the fact that I can tell people, and I do tell people when I'm not feeling good. Like in these videos when I'm like, guys, I just don't have it today. So we're just going to talk for a little bit. I'll say a couple things, if I can, and then I'm going to call it. Like, I love being in that space where I can just be real about where I'm at. It's amazing. So catalyst moments upon the surface freak us out. They make us uncomfortable and they make us mad. So you may be either in a catalyst moment or about to experience one. Do not come for the messenger. I'm just here to deliver the message. But you may be about to go through something, and I'm going to tell you right now, you can make it through. Whatever it is. Whatever it is, you are going to make it through. Because you've made it through so much already. You are going to make it through. You've got this, my love. You're strong, you're powerful, you are equipped. You wouldn't be going through the catalyst moment if you weren't ready for it. So you got this. Some of you, the catalyst moment needs to happen because you're shying away from things that you need to do. So some of you are dealing with it right now, and I know that it sucks, and I'm sorry. But you, what? A little hair. You've got this. You've got this. You have the energy. You have the, what am I trying to say? You have the spiritual build to handle what it is you're going through. And it is making you more of the person that you want to be. That version of you that you see when you think about your success, whatever that means for you, that person goes through the catalyst moment. The person ends up on the other side. And it's always easier to look back and go, damn, that was shit. And in the moment, it really does feel like the world's ending. But I'm telling you, you got this. The world is not ending. Everything isn't going completely to shit. It's definitely a learning moment for you to learn some crucial understandings and to rebuild your foundation in a far better way. Like the fact that I know people who got laid off and for the first time in their life decided, you know what, I'm going to start focusing on building this business I've always wanted to do. An example that I always use is when I was living in Boston, I managed to find a living situation that was for about $1,500 a month, everything included. People said it couldn't be done. I found it. So when people be telling you that's impossible, it can't be done, ignore them. And I found this living situation, and it was in the mother-in-law suite of a old home that was owned by an elderly couple. And for those of you that don't know, mother-in-law suites are just another section of the house that's kind of like its own smaller house in the big house. Those types of homes were created specifically for the in-laws. So it's like, you know, as the in-laws get older, they move into that, you know, suite area, and the younger people who are taking care of the house or whatever, like they kind of live in the main space or whatever. I think that's kind of the general history. If I'll look it up, if I'm wrong, let me know. And we were living there, and it was cozy. We had one room, another room acted as like our storage room, and then we had a half bath and a small like kitchenette. So we didn't even have like a full oven and dishwasher and all that. Didn't have any of that. We washed everything by hand. And then the bathroom we actually shared with the elderly couple's guests. It was their guest bathroom, and you had to go through you had to leave the mother-in-law suite and go through the old man's office, and then through his office you rounded the corner to their side of the house and then into the bathroom. Crazy setup. And it was a pretty uncomfortable like living situation. It was comfortable for the most part because I can make any like type of living situation good. I can do anything that I need to do. But it wasn't the most ideal. But we got comfortable. Got way too comfortable. And did not plan on moving. Didn't plan on trying to find another place where we could entertain people, where we could like house, you know, like parties and things for people, because we couldn't bring anybody back to the space because there literally was no space. Like there was no space. I wish I still had those pictures so that I could show you guys how small the living situation was, because now that house has been sold, and I think it was torn down. I think it was completely renovated. But one day, while I was in my towel coming back from the bathroom, because the bathroom wasn't big enough to actually even change in for real, I was coming back from, and this was in Boston, so y'all know, if you don't know, bathrooms up north, they're not always the most spacious in homes, especially older homes. I am coming through, and there's strangers in the house being shown the house, and I was like, what's going on? And the old lady was like, oh yeah, by the way, we forgot to tell you that we're selling the house, so you have 3 months to leave. And girl, when I tell you, my ex and I were fit to be tied, because we were like, we don't know where we're gonna go. Like, we haven't done any research, we haven't prepped, we haven't, like, moving in 3 months, like, that's, we're not ready. So, interestingly enough, what ended up happening was I explored around, because I didn't work full-time. I worked part-time, so I had time to go and explore options, and we found a place that was 1 billion times better right up the street. that was closer to public transportation. Everything was way better, but we would never have known because we weren't planning to leave. So the reason I tell that whole story, and Sammy got distracted because I heard our bedroom door open. The reason I tell that story is because in that moment, it sucked. In that moment, I was like, we only have 3 months. We don't have anything saved up to move. Like, we have no plan. Of course, I'm a planner, so I shouldn't have, I shouldn't have been freaking out because I got this. But yeah, so we moved and it was great and our new place was fantastic and I loved it, all the way up until COVID happened. And then I was like, ooh, I kind of want to be closer to family because people is leaving here. But yeah, so your catalyst moment is meant to happen. You're gonna come through it. It's not gonna be comfortable, but it is necessary for you to rebuild on top of the foundation that has not been working for you. And some of you, what's happening is you've started to build a new foundation, but you're about to hit a catalyst moment because everything up under that new situation needs to go. 55 minutes and 55 seconds as I say that. So it could be that I don't even know what it could be if I'm being honest with you. Because it's like for you to be like, oh yeah, this is my path, I'm believing, I want to do all this stuff for my business, yada, yada, yada. It could be that your catalyst moment is that people that you know and that you've been close to, they gotta go. It could be your catalyst moment is that a job that you've been holding on to lays you off. It could be a plethora of things. There are just so many possibilities. And I know so many of you are like, I've learned so many lessons already. I don't want to learn any more lessons. But that's exactly what I was saying when I was like, I'm not doing any more shadow work until I get my shit. And the thing about that is that when you do that and when you say that, you put a cap on what can come to you. Set this right there on my leg. You put a cap on what can come to you. You are literally blocking your own blessings. 56 minutes, 56 seconds as I say that. So that's what I was doing. So I got that reading. And so I got that reading and I proceeded to go outside and go for my walk and kind of meditate on what was communicated to me. And I originally thought, I was like, damn, it's going to be so much work to have to do all of this and to have to remember all this. What am I going to do? But then I realized it was like, you really do need to let your inner child drive fully, because my inner child actually is far better at running things than I am. I overthink, I freak out, I get disappointed. She doesn't. She just keeps it moving. My inner child is very much so, well, what challenge? What's the challenge? Let's just deal with it. Let's just deal with the challenge. Like, she's a go-getter. I myself am not when it comes to that. So, yeah, what I learned today was you really do need to, and not just in romance, because I was like, okay, well, my inner child can lead when it comes to the soulmate journey. I was like, she's got that. But they're like, no, everything. And I was like, but she's not like an adult, And it's like, but she kind of is, because she has access to all of your knowledge. All of your knowledge, all of the stuff that actually is useful, she has access to that. So let her run things. And essentially, to me, what the inner child is the inner child is us with no fear, with no doubt. The inner child is us when we are at our finest, when we are curious, when we ask questions. Your inner child actually is really good at flirting with people. Your inner child is really good at getting jobs. Your inner child is really good at doing those things, because your inner child, and when I say the inner child, I mean the inner child before all of the other stuff was placed on you by adults that didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Adults that were jealous, adults that were upset, before they piled all of their bullshit onto you, your spirit knew exactly what it was doing. It was making shit happen. So, that was my drawing and reading that I had today, and I think I've shared with you all what I learned and what I'm doing. I always have nights where I just can't seem to get comfortable in here. But yeah, so I'm very excited because tomorrow I'm going to go out and do some fun things with people. and that's gonna be dope. And actually, I said it in a couple of videos, I went to a pottery place called All Fired Up, and I actually was able to, I made a little mushroom, I painted a mushroom, and I'm so excited to show you guys because it's done. So I think tomorrow we're gonna go and get our figurines, and I'm so excited to bring it in here tomorrow night and show you guys what I did and why I chose the color palette that I did. So it's gonna be show and tell tomorrow night, so I'm very excited. Happy February 9th of Love Month. It's a good month to be doing stuff and feeling stuff and making things happen. I'm feeling far more hopeful after my reading. Like, originally I thought that I was just gonna get my toe stepped on and that it was just gonna beat me up, but then the more I thought on it as I walked, the more I realized I've actually grown a lot, because I wasn't angry that I had work to do. I was kind of like, yeah, I knew I'd been avoiding it. And it's not hard. It's not stuff that's that hard. It actually is just a tweak in awareness and making sure to just do the thing. That's really all it was. And I know that's easier said than done, so I know at some point I'm probably going to get frustrated. And I'm going to be like, why? But I just think that that's just a part of the journey. So I think that's all I have for you guys tonight, honestly. Are those little tidbits of informatia. I really am excited for the new content that I'm going to start doing, but it really has been a process of just like, do not move until you feel better. So I'm still congested, I'm still doing stuff, and I think it's because once I get started, I'm gonna be super locked into it. That's how I get with projects. I love having projects. I love having more than one project to do, and so I have a feeling I'm about to be busy with some projects, so I know I need to be at 100% health and strength before I get started. So I'm excited. But anyways, I think that's all I have for you guys. I love you guys so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or night. I hope anything else that you take in after this video, any content that you take in, any entertainment that you watch, fills your soul with happiness and joy. I hope you feel revitalized and replenished. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow night. Again, thank you for being here. I'm so happy that you're here. More things are coming, so at some point it is going to be these videos and other content. So if you've subscribed to me, I'm just letting you know there are things in the works. There are things in the works that I can't fully talk about yet, because I want to get it to a point where it's actually in the process and I have like maybe some pre-recorded videos, and then when I announce it, I'll have some stuff already pre-recorded so that I can post it, so that I'm not like, guys, this is happening, and then you go and there's no information there. But yeah, so I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow night. Love on yourself, drink your water, pace yourself, stay in the now, all that good stuff. And just remember that this community that we have here, this is a good community. I love this community. We've got some good vibes, some good synchronicities, some good synergy. That's what I meant to say. There's good synergy here. So I love you guys, and I will holler at you tomorrow night. Bye!